There's like a 50% chance I wasn't gonna stream today. Part of the reason why is sometimes when I'm editing, like, just on my own, I'm very in and out. Like, I'm constantly running in and out of, if I'm yelling for a bit, just like, I'm messing with the audio levels. I'll like work on something for like 20-30 minutes. I'll go outside for like 5 or 10, get some fresh air, think of something, come back, build some more. So streaming, you're just sitting there. You're on. But I almost, because I was gonna sit there and do nothing. I'm like, no. I'm gonna doodle for some things. And that's what we're gonna do today. So this is not really a planned stream, it's just a building some stuff. So what's the difference between this and when I'm mapping normally? Probably nothing. I think the only difference is sometimes I'm trying intentionally to build something on stream. And maybe that can make things a little slow sometimes. There are things I feel comfortable doing. We might be doing that today. No, I'll show you. I was having a aesthetics vibe, you know, just looking at some stuff, watching some videos. Let's see. I'm gonna add something here for a visual. Find folks out there, just so you kind of have an idea of what we're going. Screen. I have this weird thing where I don't know how I truly feel about David Lynch, but I do enjoy the wackiness of it, and this is not something because I was watching some things on Twin Peaks, and then I found this little picture. I'm like, oh, that's a very, it's the red, still 90s. So Duke does have assets for a movie theater, but I don't think I'd really necessarily want a movie theater as the place you have to go to because it is so common. But maybe something that you crash through, like you explode through and have to go through the theater instead of a place that you're intentionally going, because that's a little cliche. Not that I would personally probably care if we go into movie theaters. I want to. So excited when I see them. But so you could just have a different way of going through them. But I wanted to recreate something, so I'm gonna try to create something like this to get a vibe going. Because I also like the zigzagginess of this, of that wall with the posters. I think that's kind of a cool idea. But it's a simple way of, I think, pulling this off in a build-esque way. It just suits the build, right? The only thing I don't think I'll know how to perfectly recreate for Duke is the neon. If I want to do some kind of neon light, so I might do something different. Obviously posters. I was in. Oh, it's because I was also yesterday, right after I ended stream, went on a walk, and I was going to come back and not do a stream, but build stuff on the side, and I was going to build some little scenes. And because I was looking at some Bass Pro Shop videos, because we're kind of doing something like that. And I thought about making some. They have like little dioramas, is that what you call them, in the table, the displays, where they have stuff that they put on top, and you'd be looking at it and be like, you want to buy this gun, I guess? I don't know. I've gone through them like a couple times just because I don't know, there's fish in them. I was today going to try to conquer something really complicated and see if I could do water coming out of the tank using the raising and lowering of water sectors. I don't know if I want to do that. Maybe that'll happen. But for now, I said I'm just going to doodle. Okay. Actually, you know what? Let's do just so you know what we're kind of trying to recreate. We're going to try to recreate this little guy right here. So I'm gonna quickly just do a little tweet actually. We're gonna make that little here. I think so. Keyboard's working. Your little image there so you guys know what I'm making. I don't really have it, but I know that there's going to be some zigzags. So let's go in a little area over here. And we're going to make a hallway. When I saw this picture, I'm like, man, I think there's enough textures in Duke Nukem to be able to pull this off. Okay, so we're gonna make ourselves a slightly bigger area. We're gonna throw, as always, probably one of these guys. Just so we have something to use for height beyond just the wall, because sometimes the walls get reset, but this is fine. So I think if we're looking at this image here, so I have to flip out in a different editor. I'd want that about like waist high, I'm thinking. Well, let's see what kind of texture. Are any of the older maps finished? Would love to record them. No, I like, everything you've been seeing so far is just me trying to learn. So I've never actually finished a level. I just finished bits and pieces of things. And then so far what's been happening is I kind of start stealing little bits and pieces and mashing them together. So hopefully over time there will be a finished one. In 4 more months, I will be mapping for almost a year. And by then, maybe I'll have something. And that's kind of what these streams are doing, trying to get me to an end goal where something is done. I also don't want to rush it. And kind of a perfectionist who doesn't know what they're doing yet, which makes it even worse. So we're going to use a split wall idea. So we could do this. Here, let's just... I'll show you what I mean before I start explaining it. Here is the... exactly what I want. Perfect. Oh, that'll be a lot of sprites if we try to do it sprite-wise. What I'm going to do is I'm going to carve a chunk out here. So we can play around with just the texturing. Do 4. And just to make sure we have it going, we're going to slap that. Now, because we have 2 sizes we can make this, I'm thinking the smaller one for our reference image that we have going on there. Actually, you could do bigger on the floor if we do want to do it, and then smaller on the wall. And this is where we get to play with this. What? It could be small. It could. Trust me, everything you're going to tell me, I'm going to agree with. It's just, I for some reason feel like it's not good enough. Mainly because like so far everything I built, you still don't do anything in them. Like there's no real enemy placement. There's no real interactivity. Well, I shouldn't say that. I have built like a couple things you interact with, but there's no real progress. It's really just set pieces or visual set dressing, if you will, than an actual level per se so far. And that's just a me issue so far. I haven't really pushed myself further in my journey of figuring out like, okay, well, now what am I going to do? Let's figure out how to do the lighting and earthquakes. So we did. I shouldn't say that. We have been doing that. We did the Tror test yesterday, and that was a really complicated thing. I'm just thinking, I guess maybe more mechanically speaking from a gameplay perspective, we haven't done that stuff yet. It's just because in my mind, I'm still wrapping my head around the editor. There's so many things I just don't know how to do yet. I still haven't figured out lighting. And meanwhile, in my mind, I feel like my map is small, just everything is so complicated to do. So I want a halfer here. Right? So I want just half. Actually, here's what I'll do. I'm gonna put a timer on for myself. I'm gonna put an hour, so I can see how far I can get in an hour here. I keep forgetting I bought a timer just to help me push things along a little faster. I lose track of time very easily. I meander. That's part of my issue. So we want a halfer here. So there's a few different ways we could do this. So again, when we're looking at that little reference image in the top left corner, I could do either actual texture of the wall, which I think I might do in this case. We could stack sprites, which would mean we would use the sprites as decoration. So copy this. And I forget how to stick this to the wall. Is it? T? No, T is transparency. How do I stick that to the wall again? Oh my god, it's been so long since I stuck it to the wall. There's like a little shortcut for this. 32. It's hard to make a good map these days. A few people making modern maps are gods back then. Yeah. And I will say, and that's no fault to them, right? That nobody... I'm very happy with people making maps nowadays and how really amazing they have been getting. But it also means, for me personally, I'm like, oh man, that's a pretty high bar. And I would like to kind of hit some kind of impact of some kind of, not like trying to blow anyone out of the water, but like you gotta make a better first impression when everybody's so much further ahead. But that's a mental blockade. That's completely in my own mind. Because like you, hey, you'd be happy to play it. And I'm just happy making it. But seeing what other people have been able to do with the editor also makes me want to make those things too, or like want to do a little more, because that's also what's getting my imagination going too when I'm building stuff. It's just, again, once that imagination hits reality and you're like, oh, I don't actually know how I'm going to do that. Like conceptually, for example, the water thing we were doing, give me 1 second to look up this. Don't look at it. I really want to just know this shortcut. Duke 32. Right. There's a wall. There's a thing to stick it to a wall. that. Oh, doesn't matter. Anyways, what you would do is you would just stick this to a little wall here, and you would stack them. So you'd want to make this the size you want, but if we want 4, you'd be sticking a lot of sprites down, right? If we're using stock assets. Otherwise, maybe I would just make a custom version of this. But again, sticking with stock assets, I would either stack these sprites for decoration, that's a ton of sprites, or I would do it this way, which I'm thinking is way easier, and we would just carve a little groove. You could do the reverse and do a solid red sprite, which maybe might be better, to break up the wall count. But so far, I don't think we're really worried about a wall of it. So far, right? Not even close. Still beginning. So let's just kind of go with what we want. What will look best. And in this case, it's going to be this. Oh, but yeah, this is what I was saying. So, for example, like, we've been trying to figure out this in concept of, this is really too. Like me trying to figure certain things out. And I had an idea of how to do this. And it's still not 100% effective. This is just a rough test area. And then we did this rendition, which is just building it out to see if we could build it. And is this the... So this is just one single room. Then we go over to this rendition. And then this rendition's a little different, because this rendition's actually true room over room. So now we actually have multiple sectors and multiple rooms, so we can go underneath to pull off that same trick for what we want to do out here, where I wanted somebody to be able to go in the water and then come out seamlessly, but you'd be able to see into it. And I knew how to do it in my mind. But then in practice, it just took me so long to kind of execute, to come around to. But now that I know it, I can do this in like 5 seconds. Right? And I do agree. I love the vanilla Duke map experience. And the question is, though, for me, it's like, why am I not okay with it when I'm building it? I just like somewhat adding detail. Partially because I just like doodling in the editor. I think it's fun. So, but I was thinking about doing that too, where I'm like, okay, what happens if I just made a map on the side, just to get the mechanics going quickly, dirty, just to get it out. But then in my mind, I'm just like, oh, first impressions. And so when I'm building it, I just can't seem to stick with just going super simple. And that's probably going to be my downfall, guys. Oh yeah. So we're going to shrink this grid. Actually, you know what? I'm going to keep this grid big. I'm going to keep it big just for now. Just for visuals. They have kind of a black bar on top, so that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna do a black bar top. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect for a recreation, but I'm just I already know I can do something with what we got. I gotta quickly order something as well. I was fiddling around with this is again a good example of why sometimes my ADD betrays me. I was fiddling around with the thumbnail thing just to fix something I noticed from last time. So if I do more mapping streams like this on their own, I can just quickly do some edits to upload it. So again, efficiency. But I keep doing new efficiencies every single time, so it's not very efficient. But I got so lost trying to learn some new things to, again, shortcuts in the future, which I'm glad I did. But my main goal was to do this today, which was mapping, and I took so long. Now it's close to dinner time, and I haven't started my dinner yet. So I'm going to order a pizza. Which used to be a thing I did on Saturdays for our Let's Plays. Running. No, they move stuff on their menu, sorry. Whoa. Whoa. Sorry, I just realized it was trying. Hey, do you want to pick this up? Not really. The whole point of me doing this is so I do not end the stream. Man, glad I set that timer so I can spend the first 10 minutes of it. Totally lost organizing something for somebody else. Okay, so anyways, the reason I'm doing this, just so you understand, is this is going to be the second wall. So what we're going to do is make something red here, because in the picture it's red. We want a solid red. Now we might have to just change the palette of something. I'm just thinking how... Do I want it super solid like in the picture? I guess that might be the easiest. Nope, not that one. Might do something like that, actually. That might work. This could work, actually, if we stretched it to one of the panel size, made it red, and then the poster would go in the middle. But again, we're gonna go back to the carpet now. Just having a little bit of an issue there, sorry. Now the reason I'm doing this is so if I were to shrink this really close, right? Just really close. This is just one way we could do it. Then I'm gonna... There we go. I'm gonna highlight that. Reset this by... So I want this for height. And now there's a few different ways we could do this. We could do page up, but I'm just gonna drag this, I think. This is me clicking the right mouse button while holding Alt. So I can just click and drag it up. We're gonna cut down this to 4. Start 16. 16. Right, so let's, you know what, go back down. I was doing the click and drag, but I'm like, you know what, just for easy math, let's not. Let's just... I wish I could just click a button to lock it on instead of holding the mouse, but... There we go. Yeah, I just had it a little too high before. If I wanted the math to work out. It just makes you, like, less headaches in the future for texturing if I move things around, I think. See, and now... we could... raise it to the height we want. And I think that would be reasonable. Hey, buddy. Come here. Actually, let's put our grid size back up too. I always want to try to build in the biggest grid size until I'm doing any detailing I want to do. Let's do this a little lower. Let's do this a little lower. Yeah, that works. That works a lot better for sizing. Trying to adjust real world for build is always interesting. So, if we're doing this at an angle, like we could actually, I think we have to build this at an angle if we want this to rotate. So we might actually have to tilt this whole thing. I was thinking about just making it flat and then having Duke just walk in. I guess that does work. Oops, I grabbed the wrong one. I'm gonna grab this, go over there, and this, wait, and then this goes over here, this goes over here. So now we're at an angle. Right, so that's the angle. Right, because it's No, it's not. I'm just going crazy. So I just overcomplicated this for myself. I had the right idea. This would be at an angle. It's this that I'm thinking of. Crack it open. Right, so if you're thinking about the pathway like this... Right, like that. And then this would go forward. Some people watching are like, wow, you're overcomplicating this. I am. My brain is a very strange place. And then the bar would go across here. But trust me, it's I'm hoping this is more going to be like Bob Ross, where it's all going to come together in the end. Instead of just like looking like somebody was just smearing poop all over the walls. But it could go either way. You know what? I'm actually happy with this size here. What size is that? See, we could join these, or we could just leave that there. You, sir, get out of here. And then... I don't know. Maybe I do want solid red. Still don't know how I feel about this. This might be a little too textured for me. Wait a second. Pressing you. Okay. What's that? I've got to grab something outside, and then I'm going to have to grab food eventually too, but don't worry. Still going to be here. Just got to time this accordingly. 7. I'm just gonna grab some stuff just so I can be ready. You know what? People have questions. I don't think I'll be the right person to answer, but always try to see if I can explain something. And if it's something I'm interested in, maybe I'll figure it out. The Sorry, 2 more minutes. $30 more. So. You can look at it. 20 minutes. So out of the hour timer I set, I built for a total of 5 minutes. And we have 25 minutes left. That's how efficient I am with my time. Amazing. Let me just reset chat here. But as Necro did say earlier, a map doesn't need to be super detailed. Sometimes that's why I beat myself up when I'm like building stuff. It's because I like to build stuff like this. That's just what I like to do. It's like if you give me a bunch of Legos, I want to see how to make it look. So anyways, there's your corner, right? So if you're looking at that reference image we got, let me look at my version here. What the? Kiki, go. That'd be a little weirdo. How big would a poster be? Like, let's use the standard Duke post. No, Kiki. No, Kiki. Kiki. Okay. Where are the posters? Paintings? There's a calendar. Oh, there we go. We'll do that one. I figured we could always make our own eventually, but right now we'll use some placeholders. Duke had some other ones. Didn't they have the horror one? I want to get a good vibe going on here. Like, isn't Vampire Boy in this? Does anybody remember that one? I feel like there's a horror thing. Poster. Oh, there it is. It's right there. You can see it. Oh, I lost it. I'm gonna do a dramatic zoom in for you people. In the process, I lost my way. Here we go. Okay, there's our selection. So actually, we'll. Go down to 32, 32. These aren't the same portions. Hmm? Oh. I'm gonna do. I want to make this a little bit taller. That's what I'm trying to make.
Wait, is that yours? Or is this like looking at things?
Like, you think I built that?
Yeah.
No, that's some random movie theater I found.
Oh, that's a real movie theater?
Maybe it's real? I don't know. I'm assuming it's real. I have no reason to believe it's not. Now I'm questioning my reality. Maybe it isn't. Yeah, let's stay. I just don't know what I'm going to do for neon lights. Well, no, it's an issue that there's not, like, there's no real neon lights in the game, like, by default, so it's, what would I use as a comparison if I want to?
Well, it got gross, so I took it, I was irritated, so I'll leave out. This one.
Huh. Like, like a little, like a little oyster.
Yeah,
Little.
sure. This is the ear of always.
There is like a neon, like 2 tubes, blue. I don't think it's gonna work for this though. Kept screaming over there, so I'm like, okay, I'll put that there in case it's like she wants help getting down. But I think it's just because she smells funny. I just think that's why she keeps yelling over there. Yeah.
And love that dog.
I wish I could rotate sprites 90 degrees. Oh, I could do that. That would be really... Just thinking. Just thinking. I could do a sprite. Again, I would have a way different idea of doing this if I could tilt 90 degrees sprites. Why can't I just do... Sorry, I was trying to switch something in from me. It just wasn't doing it. I'm trying to find the laser tube. You know what I'm talking about? See, this would work if I could just tilt it sideways, which I can do it this way, right? But I can't do it the other way. Which one? The little bug thing? Yeah, like, I don't know how it got recommended to me. I'm pretty sure it's because I see the giant ones that are made. There's like these huge wind ones that are powered by the wind. This makes no sense if you don't know what it is. Yeah, but... Could you...
Linda.
Gravekeeper, edible H.
I don't know why it's funny.
I don't get it, really. This kind of works. This kind of works. I don't know if it's really going to be necessary for this weird little tiny detail, but if I really wanted it to, it does kind of work this way. So what we're gonna do is make just another section here. Make big grid. We don't have to do it this way, but just I'd rather kind of just join sectors together as we need them. So I'm just then we could just join these guys. Raise. Don't need this here for this experiment. Still don't know if I'm going to do neon here. Let's get them up away for a little bit. And there's the grid we made, so we can just drag this guy out here. I guess this realistically would just be like that, right? We don't even need this part. That was unnecessary. Doing a sea shanty?
Dog liked it. Like the only instrument I ever actually.
Harmonica? I just remember school doing the recorder, that was it. Breathe in this part.
And breathe in. Isn't that cool?
I wonder who was sitting there and like inventing it. It was probably somebody like whistling through grass first, and then they're like, oh.
Oh, it's like for us.
They're like, if only it sounded better. Not like farts. That's what you're thinking? Wow. And that's how it was invented. I don't think making a good map has gotten harder, given the tools and documentation proved it's easier now. It's not that it's harder. You're right that it's easier to make. Yeah, I think what we're just saying is intimidating to a newcomer when you open it up and and you know how like much other people have done. Just because it's so impressive what everyone else has created. So it's artificially harder, just on myself. I still think I want to switch out this. Still thinking about it. Thinking I want a smoother one. Where's my test guy? Come here. So, the thing about this one is there's another, like you have like a little row. And so it goes up a bit. That little break. And then you have the ceilings, which are the same as the floor. Almost. Almost. I don't know. Can I rotate the floor but not the... I think I can. I think I can. Maybe that's why I need to rotate this. But anyways, we want to separate this piece. I'm gonna put this back for now. No. I think it's harder to impress now. I'm not at all impressed by 90% maps that appear to me. That would make sense for you. But I think it's like, if you're thinking about it as somebody coming straight in out of the scene who has no experience whatsoever, if they were like, oh yeah, I played Duke Nukem 3D, and then see what people make now, from a technical perspective, I think they'll all agree they're much more complex than they used to be. Yeah. Yeah, it's on Google YouTube. Yeah, we don't physically have it. We have it. I can stream it on YouTube. Yeah. Oh, give me a second. Let me grab my pizza. Yeah, it says they're a minute away. So I want to raise this up now. I want to cut this in half. So let's join this. And then what we'll do is... What was green again? Green is blocking? Okay, sorry. Pizza's here now. I'm gonna grab it. I think it's just they're not perfectly square, so we might want to drop a little. Whee! Green is one-way blocking. Shift B to set and unset. Oh, I just keep pressing B until it turns red. Be a map edit, I assure you. Given the choice, I'd prefer to have started now than when I did. Oh, I definitely think we have way more power now than we did. Because even me, like the way I am building a lot of stuff, I just assumed you could do it back in the day. So see this, like how we have this at an angle here? We want that on the roof here. Like that. Just like that, actually. And then what we'll do is raise this. One, two. Just for now, I'll leave it at that. So if you think that there's a poster on each of these walls, my posters. I think the only problem I probably have now is even though, because there is so much knowledge out there, like there is so much information on the wiki, even online, but it's also like you'll have so much stuff on the, for example, on the wiki that's mentioning things from way back in the day that don't really exist, or it'll reference an old guide. It just hasn't been updated, but they're like, oh, this is good enough until we do like a revision, and that true revision has never happened. And I understand why. It's all community driven, so eventually. It's a lot, but that's the hurdle now. There's so many times I'll go to try to look up something, and I feel like it should just be so easy to figure out, or at least know where to look now. It might not be easy to pull off, but I've seen it done, so I know people have done it, so I'm surprised it's not documented. Maybe it is. I just haven't found it yet. So like that. But I think what we want to do, right, is this we want bigger. There was next to no documentation. I don't know if I remember. So there's our hour. Granted, half our hour was very much us being very busy. So anyways, what I was thinking about doing is 42, 42. I think that's like... Any of you use the editor, right? It was gimped or... Let's see what map it looks like. Is that like... I definitely remember back then when they were like building out different editors, other than the default build editor. Oh, maybe that's why I heard about it. There's like a weird thing that was for taking pictures of it. Can't quickly find something. So I'm gonna cut this in half, like drop the wall back a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is get that feeling, right? It's just this wall is what needs to change. Oops. You just got to make sure you grab the right point. Snap it in place properly. Now by doing that, is that going to mess up this? Yeah. Mapit is Blood's version of build, and interface is mostly the same aside from the like that it's Blood. You know, it's kind of like, I know maybe it's because it's more niche, but I feel like people talk a lot about Blood in such admiration that I'm actually shocked there isn't a bigger level design or like newer editor option. Let's play with, let's see what we got here for a replacement for that carpet texture we're using. Like even this would be better if it was more red. But I don't think we can get it by just... We could. I don't think that really changes it too much, though. Blood is fun. Blood. I mentioned this, like it was something I played very late. I think last year was the first time I fully beat it. Hmm. Kind of some very, very obviously experimental options here. There's a new editor for it in the form of XMapEdit, but it still needs some work. I wish that I'm not. Well, at least people are still working on it. I still want a more flat texture. Like again, something like this, but red. Not that red. Like I do want it. So what really makes is those highlights for that highlight. You know, that neon. Otherwise, it's kind of more of a pastel-y. Has some uses in logic machines alongside targets. Does it? So many weird ones that I didn't know. Like I was using the bullet or the target for so much stuff, not realizing it has built-in logic. Thankfully, I was using it as like wall and not in its sprite form, so it wasn't engaging in it. I just realized we're on a very shade. So like I kind of like this better because it's not as busy. Because I want something that's more like plaster. Like I guess that it would make sense just to try to use this. The red option. I just wish there was a red option by default. Because sometimes the red can be too strong as a palette. But I do want something with flexibility here, because I feel like I might have to use a lot of it. What I'm trying to do. That's too busy. Originally I was thinking something like this, and then you palette to it, or right? But even that seems a little too busy to me. Once you as a border. Well, I'm not really trying to use it as a border because I might do something else. I'm really just trying to find a flat color, like not that, that I can use. Where's the what's the default plaster wall? The one with the line on it. Oh, there's one in Duke. I thought there was one here. I want to show you what I'm talking about first. I'm just familiarizing myself with certain controls. Man, I use this texture all the time, and now I just can't find it to save my life. Just the office wall. Why am I having? Oh, this one. This is the one I'm thinking of. That doesn't work. I think the regolith and yeah, that's the thing is like that's kind of what I'm going for, but again, this is if I change it. I think that's the one I'm thinking of too. Yeah, yeah. I think that works a lot better. Does it though? Does it? Am I just going crazy? Like this seems like one of those superfluous. What is this? What is this from? Do I like this? Is this the? I think this is blue, right? When if I were to take the palette off here, it's blue. Yeah. All right, let's do two. Let's do a test wall with this, and then one with the blue plaster that we're thinking. I'm just thinking about incorporating the line here. This one's a little brighter, so that might actually work for what we're doing, actually. So let's do that. This one is darker, but we're gonna want some brightness here. And I think what I'll do is, just to diversify it, it's not a big deal, but I'm gonna rotate the texture just for the side panels. And then here I'll keep it so it just doesn't, it's not perfectly uniform when you're looking at it. Look at just the size here. Seeing which one how much is too much. And you know what? Actually, let's combine. Why not do a little bit of both? How about that? putting a little, yeah. And then what we'll do is actually we can probably do this here. Do I want to have like a little border? I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do the neon. Then I could. Do something like this. Why is this rotating? Is that not the first wall? There we go. What are your thoughts? What are everyone's thoughts here? Do I need a little bit of tilt this? F4 in 2D mode highlights the first wall in yellow. Huh. I don't know. Oh. What? I don't know what the difference is that, like, because I always do Alt F or whatever it is. Is that it? Oh, does this let me do like multiple at once? Like I could just click multiple walls all at once to line it? That's a handy trick right there if that's what that does. Okay, so the question is, do we... I realized I didn't make a backup version of this. Right? Because then shading's going to make this a little bit better. Which might make this a redundant thing. I still like that neon look, but again, I don't know how to do it. We've actually seen a few pictures with the neon. That's a lie. I do know how I could maybe do it. Okay, so we're gonna do this. See how we had this? We do a cheap one. Alt F sets it, but F4 just shows it for the sector the cursor is in. You can only have one first wall per sector. I didn't. That's handy. That is handy. I will be honest. You're right. I never knew that was a tool, and there's so often when I'm doing this, and I have no idea which one's my first wall, and so I'm just randomly setting first walls all the time. You're right. That should be on by default. I could see people maybe being a little overwhelmed. Like, what is that highlighting? But I also think it. I know. I don't want it to be actually flashing though. Just gotta watch that because it's I don't want it to switch out the texture. I think this might be a better one. Just to see if this effect's gonna work the way I want it to. And what we'll do is, I think maybe laser trip mine. Yeah. Like we could use the same texture and just align it, but I'm thinking. Experiment that might not work. We gotta make sure this stays the same. So we really can't mess with the size. So whatever texture we choose has to fit. I think if we do this, is there an animated version of this? Texture is this? 539. 539. Where did that come from?
Well, the 50s from Dad today. The pizza's cold.
Oh.
It wasn't really warm when it got.
Yeah.
A lot of salt.
Yeah, that was just to remind me of the pizza. But then half of it was tip for this. testing. I don't know if I want that stripe there, you know? Because if I did, like, maybe I'd be okay with this again. I don't know. Like, I don't want to do a solid. That's so stark, like heavy? No? I think maybe it's just this bar. So if we hide this bar... I don't know if it really adds much to it, right? But let's see. Let's just see if we do this for now, because it is in the reference photo. What are your thoughts? What's everyone's thoughts? I think this kind of looks like it, right? Because especially if we were to do some shading to it, right? His shading's a little... I don't know how I do shading here because this would be giving off light. Oh, this doesn't shade well, though. This palette. Might change it. Might change it. This might work better for shading than this texture. I saw this one up here, though, when I was looking around. Probably use that for... What is this one normally? Is it gray? So much, like, I wish there was just one red one. All right, let's try this for a second. I want to, you know what? Let's fill out the neon too. As a, I don't know if that really adds much to it, the neon. But, you know, that does kind of help with this issue that I'm having with shading, right? If I could just do maybe one different one each. Might have a solution here. A solution that isn't really a problem. I'm just, you know. Let's get inventive here, you know. Let's just experiment, see what. If we flip this, right? We can use the light Oh, I hate it. Oh, that might work. That might work. And then I'm just thinking of, I just want to see if I just do some kind of separation here. If it just makes it a little bit more neon-y. I don't know if it will. Or if I Because they're trying to do a 2-4, like where it looks like 2 tubes. Might do that still. Seeing how much of this tube I want to see. I gotta remember not to mess up with this thing either. I keep forgetting which key to hit. I don't know if I want that little metal bar at the top. Like, I guess if I do that, though... Like, we haven't tried this. Okay, let's try this. Yeah, this works a little bit better. Right? Right? I'm just playing around with something. There, 6-6. I thought. Yeah. Think how dark I want things to get, right? Sometimes you'll stretch a texture way too much. That's what I'm kind of worried about here. Oh my cat. How do we want this to be? Try that. I think that's working. I think that's a good idea for, especially when we're looking at that reference image there. We're doing pretty good. And we somehow got the kind of pseudo Neo. I think the only thing is maybe if I got it a 2-4 there. Because they're a little more spaced apart. Seeing if I can make it match up perfectly. I keep forgetting like the accesses when I'm doing this. I think maybe it's... Maybe that's better. Actually, now I'm thinking about it, maybe that's better. God, it keeps snapping and then I get lost where it is. It might. It might. But for now I can see you. Oh, wrong way. Wrong way. I know this is like obsessively a lot. But thank you. Yeah. I thought I'd try to update it like every single time. If it's any point, my keyboard broke, so typing is a whole Rube Goldberg setup to present. Your ending for your map was like a perfect use. Once I saw it, I'm like, oh man, I could have so many uses for that. Or do we want to? Let's just say something here. I'm just thinking if this is too jarring of a lighting change. A little bit brighter, so we're going to raise this because the bottom is a little bit brighter, right? So maybe not. And see, is this getting a little too pixelated? That's the question. Spacebar is the curse on the older brain over the servers. Them. Let me grab a piece of pizza. this one has a light. I'm wondering if it's actually... Nope. I think that I want a little bit more texture there. So I think we had the right idea with this. Just the idea is, I want that brighter. But I don't want to mess with the shading. So do I forego... Like, we could do something like that. There's also nothing wrong with how this is already. It's just figuring out, like, how far do we want this to go. I guess we could always just... Oh, no, that's fine. Just do that. Call it a day. I think what happened is internals got piece of crushed gloves. Yeah, I forgot I was grabbing pizza. I think the frustrating thing for me is in Canada, my laptop is international, so I constantly have to remember to switch off the international keyboard. But it's just like a line wall. That would be great. Trying to get the direction right. Maybe if we make this taller, I'll be less inclined to hate it. I have like a function keyboard I have to use, so I'm constantly hitting it for like function, print screen, which is also my scroll lock. So, and I was looking at little laptops at once. It's like, how tiny can I get a laptop? Because I was interested in something if I were to like go out and I wanted a computer just to have around for working. But it's hard to find one with a numpad. Because my idea was like, oh, I work on stuff while I'm wandering around the world or something. Just think if the ceiling was a little bit taller, maybe it would be less jarring. Plus, we'll remember that we're going into a movie theater. Let's crack up the grid size here. I think this will be easier to figure out the size. French one is a bit weird and will interfere with certain features. For instance, working MAPSTER with it. You have to. Well, that's why I have to. I don't know if that's an option for you guys. So, like, for example, if I want to do the gray out, so right now I'm holding Alt, which is normally to highlight sectors in green, right? But right now, I can't do it. But if I Alt Shift to turn off international, now I can. So it's really weird. I think that part of the problem is I only have 3 of these, and I should have 4 to make it even. So let's quickly make another one. $124. Oops. Actually, yeah, that's fine. There we go. Now it's just a little bit more even, right? Then we have to just fix this. Which is just this. These are all red. They're all the same size. I just want to make sure nothing got messed up here. That's good. That's good. That's that. Need that there. That there. That there. I don't know if this is going to make a difference where I'm copying from. Need a 2. Okay, so I'm gonna connect these using the this. I just want to figure out where my sizing's going wrong here. Oh, is it just because I'm at an angle? It looks all messed up? That makes sense. Okay, so that's a nice looking wall, right? And then you have your posters. I'll put one of these on too. What? 42, 42? Let's try that. Yeah, that's a good height. That's a good height. And then we'll do like a little entrance way here. I want to think of like you'd be coming this way. Yeah. And then maybe you come into the theater here, or a theater here. In the picture, you're going in there, which I could have. Like, I could close this off, and we would do... Maybe. Maybe. Hmm. Or would it make sense to have this along here as well? I could do it. Because then you'd have like maybe a concession stand here, right? Like have that indent. What's that other red one though? And I just want to see. I might break it up with something else. This one, yeah, I don't. That would break up this too as well. I don't know if I'd like that as much. Nah, I don't like that. Are we in a new area of the mall, or did you start this test map from scratch? Oh no, we're still in the mall. Like technically, yes, you're right, and we're in the new area. But I just saw. I wanted to doodle today, but I still wanted to keep with the mall. So I thought, okay, I'll do a movie theater kind of thing and stick that in the mall maybe somewhere. So I'm just trying to... I wanted to just make something based on an image. And so as you can see in the top left corner, there's our reference. And we're kind of just basing it off of that vibe for the movie theater. So it is for the mall. Is there any more posters? I don't think there is there? It's just that one. Throw that one on there for now. I'm thinking about making our own posters, like when we get kind of more time. Right? 42, 42, 42. I was going to work on more of the area we were working on the other day, but I didn't. That's more like logic based, if you want to think about it like that, or like you actually, it's like how Mapster works, like adjusting levels and sector effector things, and I wasn't really ready to start reading tutorials right now. So I thought, okay, I'll make a little test area here just for detailing. Because I can kind of do that. That's the one thing I'm kind of good at. We could build an entrance in there. We could build an entrance in there. I think we should have it so You'd have like a way earlier entrance up here. Let's just put it in here for now. And then we're gonna widen this out. Or whatever. Just because I want to break up the textures here, right? You could do an edge. Actually, I'm thinking about it. If we wanted to do a break, like something like this. That could work. Right? Plop that here. If we really wanted to... The only downside is I don't know how I'm going to match this up. This is... Maybe do concessions right here, actually. Not concessions, but like a little popcorn station or something, and not have this open. Let me look at this reference photo. Also, was there any other... images? Did we ever get one of a movie theater? I don't think I did. Well, first things first, we're going to break up this texture, so let's do this. Always looks weird to me. I don't know why. Something about this angle looks weird. Like things aren't matching up. And this is 256. $71. 56. It's like I just can't get the same angle. I'm overthinking this. Am I overthinking this? I've 72. 72. 256. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I don't know why I'm doing this so weirdly specific when I just have to make the line straight. It might actually help if I actually have this here. Yeah, there you go. That's what I wanted. It's just not. It's just a little skewed, right? I don't know why I'm getting so entranced by this silly sprite here. Just trying to figure out why I'm not lining up. Oh, is it because this back end could be out of whack? I didn't really think of that. What we'll do, we'll shrink this down. Shrink this down. We'll see how many. I think it's because I have rotate on and something's not lining up properly here. So I think what we got to do is take this off and just make a perfectly square room build backwards from, because for some reason I'm getting messed up here. Then we go out from here. If you have no idea what I'm doing, it's because I'm trying to create a border here, like through a sector. Angles always throw me off because like nothing feels accurate in size, if that makes sense. '86, 286. Shrink this bad boy down. I think what I need to do is actually turn this into one of these as well. And then I can do this. This is going to be way easier. What is this? $5.15. 15. And then if I reset that. So I think I want to cut that down a little bit. Wish I could make things super proportional. I don't know why I'm struggling with this part. Where I'm just like, I can't, for some reason I can't comprehend certain things on angles. But I can't understand why. Like, why is this like not lining up perfectly? Angles are weird. Plus, I wish there was an offset grid by end units forever. That's what it feels like. It feels like the angles aren't true angles when you're drawing them out. Like, sometimes... It's definitely probably because I'm trying to do lock to grid and it's just not matching. Part of the issue is the way I'm thinking about it for this. What if we did this? See, like, this is one unit across, so is this. But this looks weird, this doesn't. Like, this feels... 1146. That's almost it. Area squared to the grid and tilting it later. Oh, that's probably a way better idea. That's a good shortcut I should have done. See, and I thought because of the way I wanted this straight, but then this at an angle, right, to give that difference, it would be better to figure it all out. But I think it's definitely because of the grid. But anyways, what I was going to do is this. We know this is 1. I don't know if I want to do it like that though. I want a clear through line. Before you hit this. Like you're going into the movie theater. I guess like this could be the mall entrance, and this would be the entrance into the movie theater. So, and we could put like pay phones back here. Yeah, let's do that. Let's put some pay phones. Thinking about like making this in. Do something like that to break it up, maybe. I'm thinking about maybe doing a different texture color. I just want a square of some kind, maybe. Thinking the one in Duke Burger that's like yellow, like this. I like that height differential though, so like if we do something like this. And then I guess it doesn't really matter at that point, right? Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll make this a little bit longer. Just to play with the idea of this, and this will change. Set this for now. And then we want to change this. This stuff isn't matching yet, but that's matches now. Look at that. We do like a little, I think maybe a curve here into it. That's what I mean when I'm saying I'm doodling. What we'll do is we'll use this. Crank up the grid size here to big. leave this one 4x4. Now we just got to figure out, like, what do we want here? What do we want for this top end? What do we want here? Like, even this, I guess I'm kind of okay sticking that through as a through line, but then having this as a different one just for the heck of it. What? I don't know if I like that. Yeah, I don't like that. I definitely don't like that, but that's okay. Would I like it if it's like, if it was coming out from here? Maybe that's what my issue is. Have this little lip. I'm gonna break it. This. I know this is gonna break. I just want to see it. Ignore all this. Let's see if I did this and then went straight. Then we can shrink this down, do it inward. We're doing some pretty good progress, and then all of a sudden I hit a wall when I just start getting too obsessed with angles. long is this? 1145. So we want it there. It's kind of weird how, like, I don't know why this feels like it's going to make a difference to me. And I think I want something to break up that color in the back. Like here, it's a completely different color. Thinking about undoing it all. Maybe just shrink this. Like, I still want this to go where it would normally go, like if this is a straight line. Then you still get a little lip. I kind of like this little lip. I don't know why. Just adds a little more character. This is gonna work. One 1151, right? 1145. That might have been a weird way of doing it. I don't know if that does absolutely anything. I don't know if I like that. I don't know why. I just like I like little angles, little edges, little nooks and crannies. It just feels realistic, but at the same time, I don't know if it's really adding anything. Like compared to just maybe making it straight hallway. Right? Like, did that really change anything? No. It was a lot more work for nothing. I think my issue is I don't think I'm gonna like these walls for this. And I think it's like a situation where maybe we should blend in whatever the mall wall would be in the area. But again, we don't know what the mall's gonna look like yet. You can also, like, instead of doing a hard cut here, yeah, maybe that's all I need to do. I just need to kind of not make it match the same height as this, like I was trying to do. You either go lower, which I don't think I want to do. How did this all get messed up? Wait. There we go. I just wanted everything to line up properly. Right, so then we got this entrance. We'll gray out this. That. And I just want to make this match. Thinking about doing something like this. Alright, and then still have that like that. Match this. And this is this wall that we have to worry about. Which for now I'm gonna throw this thing on. I guess it could do this. Just make it so it's... just say that for now. Because then you would just do, just for example, we'll put the theater one. What is it? Where's like the now playing thing? And then I'll call it a day. Because technically we recreated the thing. I know I said I was going to do some foam boost. Okay. Then we can kind of get everything back to a normal shape, like direction. Messing myself up just because I'm doing the thing again. Thing that's supposed to fix the angles. Messing me up. I want this to go down to match this, which is what? 1748. And then we switch to a completely different color palette in here. So, like, for example, let's just remove this. Just for fun, we'll put this here, and this is going to be completely different too. So we can even just still play up with the idea of maybe For now, stick to this one. Like, I still might want like a little bar of this down there. Or we do a completely different color. Yeah, little design work. I just wanted to make something today, you know, just a little something to build. That's it. So we can continue fleshing off this idea here, which is going to be like a little movie theater somewhere. Not somewhere you're going to go into, I think, per se, but somewhere... Oh, let's say that. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I think I might continue working on some random design little aesthetics like this for different areas to get the theme or tone, and then we can just then focus on building the layout, like area, how the gameplay will feel. So it will then be easier when we get to the design work, like the texturing and stuff. I'll be like, okay, well, here's a little corner cutout slice, if you will, of what that section visually will look like, and I can kind of copy it. Still not happy with this entrance here. But it can, like... I'll work on that later. Because, like, that's kind of what I'm thinking, like, just a different line of something. Well, maybe I'll leave it off there. Yeah. still ended up streaming like I wanted to, so I still got something done. I am kind of happy with the progress we did get done here, so I think that's where I'll leave it for tonight as I get ready for my. But I'll continue working on some ideas for this, and I'll be back next week. I haven't picked out next week's map, by the way, because I know we have a few other recommendations. I might base it around some stuff we're working on or building, or I'm thinking about trying to tackle. So I might read up on some maps to see what they kind of focus on and what their direction is. You know what? I do have the high treason one too. Isn't the one I'm thinking of? I'll figure it out. But thank you all for joining me. I'll see you all next week, and I'm not sure if we'll do a separate stream for mapping again, but I'm definitely down for doing more of these more often. It's pushing us further towards the finish line here. Have a good day, everybody.